Hello Achievers, welcome to Shakti's Knowledge Hub, myself Dr. Shakti Sukanya. In our previous discussion, we talk about the steps in planning, that is what are all the different steps involved in planning. And today we are going to discuss about the advantages and disadvantages, that is the limitation of planning. If we are doing a planning, we may have advantages as well as disadvantages. So what are all the things we are having as an advantage as well as disadvantage? That is what we are going to discuss in detail with examples. The first is advantage of planning. The first advantage is helps in achieving the objective. Obviously, we all know that everyone doing a business, so based on that objective only they will be executing. And definitely this planning and objectives having a direct relationship with each other. So if we have a proper planning for our business, we can achieve the objective very easily. In one of the definition of planning we have discussed, not all the business is losing or failing because of the unavailability or scarcity of raw material or any of the sources. The main reason why the business or the product is failing is just because of the no planning or improper planning. So this is what we have discussed. So that is the reason planning is become the advantageous one just to achieve the objective easily. So planning concentrates the attention on setting goals and objectives of the organization. It gives the effective direction towards the control of employees and the organization towards the achieving organizational objective. So planning will help, or it is starting from the setting of objectives or goal of the business, and also that will helps to direct and control the employees as well as the production. So automatically if everything is good, we can achieve the organizational objective. And the second is better utilization of resources. So in a previous topic we have discussed about the framework, structured or a detailed plan about the entire work of our business. So based on that only we will execute, and definitely we could utilize the resources in a very effective and in a better way. Planning gives the clear-cut direction on what to produce and how to produce. So we have a planning, that planning is a framework. Based on that only we will be working. So we know what to do, how to do, and all the thing clearly. Therefore, there is a possibility of utilization of resources effectively. So we could use all the resources which is required for our business in a very effective manner. And the third advantage is economy in operation. Better utilization of resources leads to economy in operation. So economy in the sense less expenses or reduction in wastages or avoidance of wastages as well as the better profitability. So everything is possible with the support of proper planning, because we will be utilizing the resources in a very effective way. Definitely that will leads to a good result of economy in operation. That is the positivity in the financial aspect. And the fourth advantage is reduces uncertainty and risk. We have a structured plan, a framework. So that plan or the framework will definitely mention about all the uncertainty and possible risk of our businesses. So we could easily avoid or we could reduce those uncertainty and risk. Uncertain and changes are inevitable. That is, it is unavoidable thing. It is unpredictable one. So we cannot predict or we cannot avoid when it is about to happen. And planning cannot eliminate them. Definitely planning will have an alternative. So as we discussed in the steps in planning, we have selected two products, product A and product D. If there is any chance of uncertainty happen in doing the production process of A, we have an alternative option in hand readily called D. We can execute in that. So automatically we can face those uncertainty as well as we can reduce the risk. So planning is an advantageous one in reducing the uncertainty and the risk. Planning enables the enterprises to make the adequate adjustment to adapt to future changes. So according to the situation or requirement, we can make the adjustments. That is, A can be adjusted and can be altered with the future changes required with the product of D. So we can compare that example what we discussed in steps in planning. And the next is improve competitive strength. So definitely every business will have too much of competition, and there are lot of customers and they may have different demands. Everything can be faced easily and we can improve our business competitive strength. Planning enables a firm to remain in competition. So competition is an unavoidable one. Planning helps management to adopt the modern method of operation and to improve the quality of the product to attract the customer. So we need to go with the number of alternatives and different methods of operation, that is the production process of the product with the good quality, and also that product should attract the customer because the customer's demand will be changing day by day. So depends on their requirement, we should be ready with the product available in hand. The competitive strength is improved by adding these changes. So if we have some alternatives in hand to satisfy the customer, definitely we can withstand in the market by facing the competition with the very good strength. And the next advantage is effective control. Planning serves as the base for control. Planning determines the time for starting and completing the project, set standards for performances. It enables the manager to control the activity. In one of the important topic like the importance of planning, we had a point that planning is the primary function of every management. So that will helps for the other functional areas, that is the other functions of management. So controlling is also one of the functions of management, and planning is helping to make a effective control. So the performance or any set standards or any starting or completion of the work, everything where the control is required, and that is possible and will be easy through the help of planning. And the coordination. So coordination is also one of the important functions of management. So that will also be easily possible when we have a proper planning. Planning enables the effective coordination of all the managerial functions. So out of all those managerial functions, planning will be the leading one, and that will help to make a proper coordination by providing the well-defined objective. By the way, the objectives will be properly planned, and the unity of direction, that is the flow of authority of the superiors and subordinates and the assigning of works, everything will be clearly designed, and best established policies, procedures and programs. So the required objectives, policies, procedures and program of the organization will be clearly designed, and planning facilitates to get the effective coordination. So everything is available in a proper manner, definitely coordination will be possible. So all this thing is possible because of planning. And the next advantages is encourages motivation. So motivation is also one of the important functions to be done by every organization, by every manager and also by every individual. So they have to be very well prepared for encouraging the employees as well as encouraging the managers by themselves. A well prepared plan encourages the employee, the morale and the confidence of the manager. So manager will also get motivated as well as the employee will get motivated in a very confident manner. And also the morale or job satisfaction will be very easily possible because of this motivation. So this is possible by the way of proper coordination, that is the participation in decision making and the employees' involvement in different work or any of the situation. Definitely they will have a good coordination, and also they get the chances of participation, that is participation in any of the activities of the business by the employees. So definitely that will motivate, and everything is possible because of planning. And the next is guidance in decision making. So planning is a framework, definitely that will help to make a decision in a very effective manner. It means planned target serves as the criteria for the evaluation of different alternatives so that the best course of action may be chosen. In absence of plans, there is no sound basics of decision making. When we want to take a decision, we will have a proper analysis, and that is based on the evaluation of different alternatives. So different alternative choices or ideas are available. Out of that, the best will be taken as a course of action, so to be chosen. And in the absence of plan, there is no sound basis of decision making. If there is no proper planning, we cannot make it as a proper decision one. So we cannot decide in a proper way. Planning playing a very important role in decision making. And the last advantages is provide decentralization. So obviously the employees are getting an opportunity to participate in every activities as well as in decision making. So it simply means it is a decentralized one. So the employees are getting opportunity. They have some of the special rights and responsibility inside the organization to prove themselves. So this is the situation where the decentralization is exist. And about this decentralization, we have a separate topic, and that also we will be going to discuss with the detailed concepts and the subtopics under the decentralization and its parallel topic called the centralization. And next advantages is improves efficiency. The effective utilization. Planning facilitates the optimum utilization of available resources. It helps to reduce the cost and hence it increases the efficiency. So the planning is a framework, that is a structural one. Every work will be activity or any action will be proceeding on the basis of planning only. So definitely we could do or we can utilize the resources in a very proper way and helps to reduce the cost, and that leads to increase in efficiency. And the last is anticipation of crisis, that is the problematic situation. The careful planning will avoid the crisis which is likely to occur. Any unavoidable or any uncomfortable situation happens means that is not an avoidable one. Definitely we need to face in any situation, but in case if those things happens means we can avoid or balance with the help of proper planning. So in this way management can reduce the inter-organizational conflict. Example, if there is any conflict or problem arises within the organization among the employees, so that is one of the crisis. And if we have a proper plan, like if any crisis or any distraction happens between the employees, what we need to do or how we can solve those problems. So everything we have planned already. So definitely the planning will helps to anticipate or solve the crisis in the organization. And the next is the limitations, that is the disadvantages of planning. That is, even though we have so many advantages of planning, we may have some of the disadvantages, but not exactly, but there may be a chances of having some of the disadvantages due to some of the situations. So let's see them in detail. Out of that, the first one is lack of accurate information. Planning is doing for future. The accuracy and reliability of forecasting is doubtful if the forecasting period increases, because the future is quite uncertain. Planning cannot ensure against the future perfectly. So planning is based on the future thing, what we are going to do in future, that is our objectives or aim or any of the plan of our business. On that basis only we will be doing the plan, but we cannot predict it accurately. Like we can predict, we can have assumption, we may have some of the idea, but we are not sure that it will be going to happen accurately. So in case any uncertainty happens or any problem happens in an unexpected manner in your future, we may face some of the problem. That is called lack of accurate information. The accuracy will be missing even though we have a proper planning. So this is one of the disadvantages. And the second is time and cost. Planning is a time consuming process. The various steps in planning may consume a lot of time because there is no limit of precision in planning tools. Since the planning is proceeding with many course of action such as collection of necessary information, careful analysis and interpretations, etc., it is a costly affair. So we know planning is a step-by-step sequential process. Definitely that will take a big time and also it will be very expensive one, because we need to go with the gathering of information. We have to analyze it thoroughly. Those evaluation or those thing or the data gathering, information secreting will takes definitely more time and also it will be expensive. So in that aspects, planning is one of the disadvantageous one. And the next disadvantage is inflexible. We know planning is a predetermined framework that is consist of all the things what we have decided and planned in advance. So it cannot be changed exactly. We can make some changes, means that is not the actual plan what we have already made. So in that aspect it is called as a inflexible one, and it is one of a drawback of having a planning. Planning may result in integral rigidity in managerial work. Such rigidity leads to delay in work performances. Many times changes are not accepted even though they are unavoidable. So even though we may have a chances to make some of the changes, but it is due to the unavoidable situation that planning become a rigid one. We cannot change it as we expected or as we wanted to change. So in that way it is a disadvantageous one. And the next disadvantage is delay during emergency period. As usual, just the same, it is a framework, it is a structured and designed one. If we want to go for the next step, definitely we need to complete the previous step. So it is not possible in case of emergency period. We have to follow the step-by-step procedure or everything what is listed in our planning, that is the framework. During emergencies, immediate and on-the-spot actions are necessary, which are not possible under planning, so planning leads to delay in action. So in case of emergency or maybe any immediate requirement or the spot actions to be taken place means that is not possible if we have a planning, because planning will be done in the way what we have planned. So any action will be come into practice on the basis of all the sequential steps what we have done in the planning, and it is not possible and it is easy, and definitely that will cause us delay. So in that way it is one of the disadvantage or limitation. And the last is false sense of security. The management people may think that once the plan or formulated, action will be automatically efficient forever. It makes the management having a false sense of security unless the plan are reviewed and revised periodically. So this is obviously one of the practical difficulty of having a plan. Planning is a framed or a structured thing. So once if you make a plan means we can execute for the immediate action in a same order what we have already planned. And we cannot use the same thing for a long period of time. It cannot give security that the plan what we made for this year will be applicable or will be suitable for the next year or maybe after 4 or 5 years. Definitely it will be a changing one. So we have to change the plan, then only we can use. That is the revised or the reviewed thing in a periodic manner. We have to revise or review the plan in a periodic way, then only we can execute. So this is one of the disadvantages one. Okay friends, with this we are coming to the end of today's discussion. We'll have the other important topic in the next video. Shatter the breakbends and relish your success journey. Thank you all for watching. Have a good day. Bye.